At my spouse's birthday celebration, envious Lila attempted to sabotage me after we shared news of my pregnancy. Her plan disastrously backfired, leading to her facing legal consequences and a crumbling marriage. I, a 29-year-old woman, have been happily married to my husband, Ethan, for 7 years. I cherish nearly everything about our relationship, except for the shadow cast by his sister, Lila, who constantly brings negativity into our lives. Initially, I found Lila charming when we first met, but my perspective shifted as her toxic, manipulative nature became clear. I've spent years carefully navigating her volatile personality to avoid conflict. Years ago, when Ethan was 17, he dated Lila's close friend but ended things, feeling coerced by Lila's influence. Later, at 23, when he was unattached, Lila pushed him to date another friend of hers, but he declined. This sparked a heated argument, with Lila tearfully pleading to their parents about wanting Ethan to marry someone she approved of, though they dismissed her concerns. When Ethan and I fell in love, his parents warmly supported us, but Lila consistently treated me with icy disdain. Whenever I was around, she'd inexplicably mention Ethan's exes, praising their successes and urging him to reconnect. This behavior baffled not just me but Ethan too, who repeatedly asked her to stop. Lila would then lash out, accusing me of jealousy and labeling me insecure. At family dinners hosted by Ethan's parents, Lila would conveniently run into one of his exes that day and insist on inviting them, claiming politeness. She also obsessively monitored my public Instagram, always the first to view my stories. If a man commented on my posts, she'd complain to Ethan, accusing me of sharing improper photos. Ethan and I would laugh off her absurd claims. When we decided to move in together, Lila urged Ethan to leave me, criticizing my flaws and insisting she could find him someone better. Her words stung, especially since I'd always been kind to her. After our engagement, her hostility intensified. At our engagement party, while everyone celebrated, Lila sat silently, then stormed out, shocking everyone. Later, she called Ethan, sobbing and yelling that she felt betrayed for not being told first, given their close bond. She sent me a near-threatening message, warning me to be a good wife since she'd always been the primary woman in Ethan's life. The message was so bizarre I cringed and left it unanswered, knowing it would infuriate her. Lila began ignoring me at every chance. Yet she inserted herself into wedding planning, like dress shopping and my bridal shower, where she openly criticized my choices. Despite Ethan and his mother calling her out, her behavior didn't change. One day, while discussing table decorations with my future mother-in-law, Lila overheard and mocked my taste, saying it lacked elegance and that Ethan deserved better. That was my breaking point. I confronted her, shouting that I was done with her constant jabs and uninvited her from our wedding. Lila gasped, stunned that I'd stood up to her. My mother-in-law, furious, backed me. Lila later complained to Ethan, demanding he control me as his future wife. Ethan firmly supported my decision, warning her she'd stay uninvited without an apology. Reluctantly, she sent a sincere apology, which I read but ignored, too exhausted by her drama amid wedding preparations. Ultimately, I allowed her to attend to avoid future gossip. Our wedding featured soft pink and pastel tones, which all guests respected, except Lila, who arrived in a black, floor-length dress with a veil as if attending a funeral. We were floored. She told guests she was mourning losing her brother to another woman. During the reception, Ethan noticed my discomfort and confronted her. Lila played the victim, claiming her right to wear what she wanted and calling me controlling. When she wouldn't stop causing a scene, Ethan's parents, Nora and Sam, asked her to leave. It was mortifying, and I've avoided her since. When I gave birth to our son, Leo, I refused to let Lila near him. She protested, but Ethan and his parents supported my choice, understanding my reasoning. 2 years ago, Lila suffered a miscarriage with her then-partner, Marcus, which devastated her. Feeling sympathy, especially as parents ourselves, Ethan and I softened. We invited her to spend time with Leo, and she was surprisingly kind to him, though her attitude toward me remained unchanged. Initially, she seemed different, but soon reverted to her old ways, complaining about her hardships and blaming others, ex-bosses, ex-friends, for her problems. She never admitted fault, always portraying herself as the victim. This year, Lila got married but excluded us from the guest list. Ethan was hurt, especially since our relationship had seemed to improve. When confronted, she claimed she feared I'd overshadow her wedding, citing her own black dress stunted hours as proof I might retaliate. Furious at her manipulation, I told Ethan. He and his parents decided they wouldn't fund or attend her wedding. Lila, tearful, blamed me, but Ethan pointed out her own admission of fault. She apologized, and I forgave her to move forward. Her wedding to Marcus went smoothly, and we all attended. Barely 6 months later, Lila appeared at our doorstep, lamenting her failing marriage. We let her stay a few days, during which she ranted endlessly about Marcus, blaming him for their struggles to conceive. When not complaining, she fixated on our lives, inventing issues. For instance, I go to the gym each morning before work, sometimes bringing work clothes to shower and change there. Lila questioned this obsessively, asking why I needed to bathe or go to the gym. I explained I liked staying fit and avoiding arriving at work sweaty, but she just nodded skeptically. Eventually, she reconciled with Marcus and returned home. One weekend, Ethan and I joined Nora and Sam for lunch, where Lila and Marcus were also invited. We left Leo with a sitter, as he'd get bored during long adult conversations. Over lunch, Nora shared a story about a friend's divorce due to infidelity. Lila interrupted to ask Ethan if we'd signed a prenup. Stunned, we paused. Ignoring me, she pressed Ethan, who bluntly said we saw no need for one since we both earn well. Lila scoffed, warning about cheaters and implying Ethan could be blindsided. Offended, I demanded she clarify her insinuation. Lila accused me of meeting someone secretly, citing my habit of carrying work clothes. She claimed it was her duty to warn Ethan. Shocked, I watched as Nora and Sam scolded her for meddling and fabricating stories. Undeterred, Lila jokingly questioned if Leo was even Ethan's, noting he didn't resemble him. Ethan's face flushed with rage. I'd never seen him so furious. He told Lila her childless state was a blessing, given her cruelty, and called her a bitter, jobless woman projecting her failures onto us. Lila sobbed, looking to Marcus for support, but he stayed silent. She fled to the bathroom, and Ethan fumed. Nora calmed him as I held his hand. He apologized for Lila's attack on my character, and I nodded, relieved he'd publicly defended me after years of her nonsense. He later apologized to Marcus, but ignored Lila. After that, we cut contact, blocking her everywhere. Nora and Sam agreed Lila had crossed a line, noting even their usually composed son had snapped. For a year, life was peaceful without her. 2 months ago, I discovered I was pregnant, an unexpected joy. We chose Ethan's birthday to share the news, hosted by Nora and Sam in their backyard with close family and friends. Lila, uninvited, showed up, shocking us. She hugged Ethan, claiming she missed him and regretted their last encounter. Ethan, holding my hand, insisted she apologize to me for attacking my character. Lila turned to me, citing therapy and acknowledging her past wrongs. Skeptical but unwilling to cause a scene, I nodded. Nora and Sam, unaware of her attendance, offered to remove her, but Ethan opted to let it slide. Lila's overly cheerful mingling seemed out of character, but I gave her the benefit of the doubt due to her therapy claims. During the cake cutting, Ethan gave a touching speech about his gratitude for me, warming my heart. We then announced our pregnancy, sparking joy. My mother cried, hugging me, while Nora and Sam teared up, congratulating us. Guests excitedly asked about baby names, but Lila stood stunned, then walked away, visibly upset. Worried she'd ruin another milestone, I was distracted by others congratulating me. When lunch was served, my parents and in-laws insisted I rest, given my pregnancy. As I waited for Ethan to bring me food, Lila approached, beaming with a plate she'd prepared, loudly claiming she wanted to celebrate my pregnancy and make amends. I accepted it graciously, but as she walked away, I noticed shrimp, a food I'm severely allergic to, a fact my family knows well. Disappointed, I got up to replace the plate. Marcus, congratulating me, asked why I wasn't eating. I explained Lila's mistake, and he offered to take the plate since he enjoyed shrimp. I agreed and got a new one. Minutes later, Marcus began vomiting violently. Everyone froze as he stumbled, pointing to his plate and throat. Ethan and Lila rushed to him as he collapsed. Amid the chaos, an ambulance was called and Marcus was hospitalized. Lila, sobbing, glared at me. We later learned he'd been poisoned. I nearly fainted, realizing the plate was meant for me and could have harmed my baby. Ethan, Nora, Sam, and my parents remain unaware of this. Police collected the food as evidence, unsure what caused the reaction. As I write, Marcus is recovering in the hospital with Lila by his side. Ethan and I field calls from concerned relatives. Nora and Sam, shaken, are staying with us, rattled by the incident. I'm terrified to reveal the plate was mine, fearing the implications. If this becomes an investigation, I'll have to tell the police the truth. I feel immense guilt for Marcus's suffering and dread what Lila might do next, given her apparent willingness to harm me. I can't let her near my children. First update, thank you for the overwhelming support. I'm still shaken, unable to sleep, and feel partly responsible for Marcus's ordeal. I shouldn't have given him the plate. Ethan senses my distress but thinks it's just worry. I agree with comments urging me to discuss this calmly with my family. Nora and Sam have security cameras around their home, which should show Lila giving me the plate. I'll talk to everyone tonight and update. Second update. I'm grateful for my incredible in-laws. Over dinner with Nora, Sam, and Ethan, I shared the truth. Lila gave me a plate with shrimp, which Marcus ate, leading to his poisoning. Their shock mirrored mine. I voiced my fear of Lila's intentions, given her history. Nora suggested checking their security footage, and Sam agreed. The video clearly showed Lila handing me the plate and Marcus's subsequent distress, confirming the truth. Ethan struggled to contain his fury, while Nora and Sam were horrified by their daughter's actions. We sat in stunned silence, grappling with her motives. My in-laws decided to turn the footage over to the police, recognizing the gravity of the situation. Ethan and Sam plan to meet Marcus once he recovers to discuss pressing charges. I'm consumed with guilt for letting Marcus take the plate and can't eat or sleep properly. I'll update with significant developments. Third update. It's been a month since my last update, and I'm navigating this as a pregnant woman under stress. The police received the footage and arrested Lila. She confessed, sobbing, to everything. Ethan discussed the incident with Marcus, who was as shocked as us. Ethan urged him to press charges, assuring him he'd remain family regardless. Marcus not only pressed charges but also filed for divorce. Lila begged Nora and Sam for bail, revealing her own pregnancy and claiming they should help for their grandchild's sake. Sam firmly refused, saying she must face consequences. Nora, heartbroken, agrees forgiveness isn't possible. Police confirmed Lila tampered with the food to harm me, but it backfired on Marcus. She faces charges for food tampering, endangering life, and causing harm. Her court hearing is imminent, and escape seems unlikely. My son, Leo, remains unaware of his aunt's actions, but Ethan and I plan to discuss this with him to teach him caution. I'm attending bi-weekly ultrasounds, opting to keep the baby's gender a surprise. My parents, protective after this ordeal, encourage therapy to address my new fear of eating food I didn't prepare myself. Ethan supports me fully, and I hope to overcome this fear soon. Fourth update. 8 months later, Lila is imprisoned, found guilty on all charges. I didn't attend her hearings, but Nora and Sam shared that Lila admitted to lifelong jealousy, resenting an outsider marrying Ethan. She'd hoped one of her friends would marry him, fueling her bullying. At Ethan's birthday, our pregnancy announcement clashed with her own, which she'd planned to share. Reeling from a past miscarriage and driven by hormones, she mixed rat poison into my food, intending only to hospitalize me, not harm the baby. She claimed I poisoned Marcus by giving him the plate, but the judge dismissed her plea, sentencing her to prison. Marcus finalized their divorce and remains part of our family. I apologized profusely to him, but he insists I'm not at fault. Ethan and I welcomed a baby girl whose presence has brought joy despite past trauma. Leo adores his sister, and our parents and in-laws support us through this chapter.